That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to 765 Top Team's favorite Sunday night tradition. This is K4 Sunday. I am Ben Field alongside the caveman, Jeff Dens, and the natural-born killer himself, the king of leg kicks. This is Ray Arias here, guys. We are the K4 Fighting commentary team. Back at it again to bring you two natural-born killers here tonight on your favorite Sunday night tradition. Once again, guys, the best damn collaboration in all of podcasting is here to bring you the best K4 coverage that we can. Before we get going, though, tonight, Ray, man, Jeff, it's been a little bit since we've sat down and talked. How you guys doing?
Excellent, man. How are you?
Alive and well. Ray, you look like you're doing great down there.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine, baby. I'm fine.
There we go. So we have journeyed with Ice Cube into the mind of a maniac here this evening. Let's talk to some killers, guys. Let's get right out the gate here. So I really like how this card is shaping up, man. We're going to have to play a game before this gets going of, like, can we pronounce it? Because there's so many interesting names already on this card. And, like, there's a couple where I was like, this motherfucker's really trying to test me. So, all right, Keith, game on. We're going to hit them all, and we're going to get them perfectly. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start out with one of my favorite names to pronounce on commentary in all of combat sports. This guy, man, how do we put Dennis's story? I mean, this is the guy that if you want to be inspired as to what you can do when you turn things around, if you want to see what is possible when you put the effort forward, Dennis Opolentissima is the guy that you're going to want to look at for that story. So without further ado, guys, let's bring him on. Here he is, Dennis and Nicholas Opolentissima. How we doing, brother?
What's going on, brothers? Man, you killing it, Ben. You are killing it with that pronunciation, bro.
I am the most cultured, pasty white guy you will ever meet in your entire life, and that is a fact. So let's talk about this fight, man. I'm so interested in how this is going to work out. We have you versus Abbas Abajobir, who fought on the last K4 card, showed a lot of improvement. We'll talk about him once we get to his interview, man. First things first, you've seen both of his fights. What do you make of Abbas as an opponent?
Oh, the dude, he's a beast. In both fights, he's an aggressor. He moves forward, so that's something I'm definitely gonna have to be preparing for. He's just he's a tank, man. Both fights, whether it was with my boy Garrett or his last one with Jake.
Jake Ridley, yep.
Yep. He just kept moving forward, and he can take shots for sure. But not just that, he's very skilled. You know, those guys at Western New York with Felipe training them with striking. These guys I know that I'm going to be stepping up to a guy that's a good quality opponent, you know, and I've already fought one of their guys, and so I know.
Definitely a guy that develops and learns from every fight too, which, like, as a coach, Jeff, that's kind of what you want from your guys, to see what we saw in Abbas's last time out, man. Really closed some of those holes the last time. Dennis, I'm really interested to see what you have done, because you were able to win a split decision your last time out. Your first fight, I want to say that was against Szymanski, right?
Yep.
I got Capology in front of me. Here we go. Yeah, Jake Szymanski, K4 Fighting, back in April. It was an entertaining fight, split decision, man. When you heard the judges' scorecard saying split, I know Caveman asked you this in the cage. Did you feel it went your way?
I felt like it did. And nothing but like me and Jake are so cool. Like we chat we chat on Instagram and everything. And I think I give him the credit for forward movement. He was dictating the pace. He was bringing it to me. I just felt like I think I had more of the more effective shots in that fight. And I could see Jake seeing it the other way again, and I'm not saying that to diss anybody. I think you guys probably know me enough to where, and Jake as well. Like me saying this, I've got nothing but the utmost respect for Jake. But personally, though, you're asking me my opinion, which is it's going to be subjective, right? I felt like because I watched the fight several times, and I think especially in in that third round. Man, I think the cross was there. Worked on defending the castle with the pressure, and a couple of those uppercuts got in as well as the body shots. And I think that to me, I counted those shots to be a little bit more effective. So I'm not disappointed with the split decision. A win is a win, and so yeah.
Hey, Dennis, how you doing?
What was
Dennis,
that?
how you gonna deal with boss karate style?
Karate style, or doesn't he have a taekwondo background?
Slick taekwondo background from what we saw the last time.
Yeah.
We've got a few guys at our gym that have taekwondo karate style background, and for me, it's I don't know, it's just my movement, being able to move against that style. So yeah, that's gonna be my there you go, Anthony. Taekwondo. Which you guys mentioned in the commentary, mentioned his Taekwondo background, right? So yeah, I think it's going to be more being able to move in and out, and the lateral movement. So yeah.
I believe you're going to be the shorter fighter on fight night. Well, every night. It's not like you're going to fucking shrink on fight night. So wouldn't that be a bitch? Just out of nowhere, you come in the size of a Lego guy on fight night. But yeah, so you'll
Yeah.
be the shorter guy in this fight, man. Is there any specific ways that you feel that can be an advantage or a disadvantage for you?
I don't know. Like I guess it depends on how I bring the fight. And
Fuck you, caveman.
at, 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 at 55, well, I fought Jake at 55. I'm moving up 5 pounds to 160. I'm always going to be the shorter guy, I think, in that weight class. And I think it's just how I execute my game plan on taller guys. We've got a few taller guys that I typically spar with. You've got Nick, Garrett's taller than me, Liam. We've got a few tall guys at Empire, and so I've got some practice with dealing with that, and so I don't really want to share any of those tactics and give my game plan away, but yeah, there's a few things, right?
Enough. So you mentioned that Empire squad that you're a part of, man. What is it that you feel you get there at Empire with that team in Rochester that you can't get anywhere else? Because we look at, some of the names that come out of there with the Garrett Hughes, you got Nick Walker that comes out of there, some other guys that have been listed as training partners of yours. What are some of the reasons that keep you there?
Oh man, it's I shared this on Caveman's podcast last time. It's the community and the camaraderie, man. Is something that Coach Chris and Coach Wally. First of all, they set the tone, right? It's the atmosphere. Our coaches are martial artists. They're not just bangers. They set the pace, they set the tone and the energy in the gym, and so that's one of the reasons where that really sets the foundation for how we treat each other, how we spar with each other. One thing I always hear, Coach Chris, if somebody's on an ego trip on hard sparring nights on Thursdays, if they go a little too hard, Coach Chris is not going to be afraid to light their ass up and be like, bro, love on your sparring partner. We're not trying to win rounds here. We're trying to grow, and we're trying to help the other person grow. And so the tone that our coaches set for the gym, the energy, it really is. It's one of the reasons, one of the foundations. But secondly, is the community and the camaraderie. We've got like such a close, tight knit. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't even be pursuing fighting in the cage. I do it for trying to equip myself to be able to protect my family. But when I saw my guys, my friends that started out as acquaintances and became friends, and now just like really close bonds with. We do life inside the gym and outside of the gym together. And we like Osana. I don't know. He hasn't fought for K4 yet, but like there's so many fighters within our community where we hang out at each other's houses. Our kids are having play dates, and so I think that is what's so special about Empire and specifically really the crew that I've surrounded myself with, and the friendships that we've built. It's not just about fighting; it really is about growing together holistically, right? Mentally, spiritually, physically. It's not just about winning fights. It's about winning in life, and we like really push each other to do well and to excel and elevate in life.
If you're just joining us, I'm Ben Field alongside Ray Arias and Jeff Dens, sitting down here with Dennis Opolentissimo. I think it's funny. I'm sitting here after just eating Taco Bell. Ray, our resident Hispanic, has just probably eaten Burger King. Do we have this reversed here, Ray? Like, do we fuck this up somewhere along the line?
Yeah, we fucked it up.
All right. Well, we'll have to get that fixed. From Tom Kilkenny, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. He'll see us on the 9th, some of us on the 8th, maybe. Get that figured out. So thank you, Tom. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving as well. Got a lot of love for our Muay Thai poppy out there in the old NYC. Ray, you look like you got some questions for our guest here, brother. I'll sit back and let you fire from the hip.
Hey, Dennis, the last time you fought, you had good head movements, and you was going in the, getting in the clinch and inside fighter, and I'm predicting you're gonna do the same thing.
Oh, definitely, man. And I'm still working on that too. Even though I did a little bit of it with my fight with Jake, probably could have done a lot more. But that's one thing that when we're sparring, my coach sees that I need to move my head a lot more. And that's one of the things that my coach instills in us, right? Part of the game is hit and not get hit. and and it's like you can dog it out and brawl it out, but at the end of the day, like that it's going to take its toll on you, right? If you want to play the draw the line in the sand card, and you can do that and win a fight, but longevity wise, like if you don't have a good defense, like you're going to suffer from that years down the line. And so I'm not trying to take that much damage, and so that's one of the things that I really want to focus on. Before getting into kickboxing, I was like just a very passionate boxing fan. Pacquiao is my guy, and that style of fighting, that aggressive fighting, was my style. And I never really liked the Mayweather style. But now that I've been training, I'm like, man, the dude's defense is something really to appreciate, because the dude ended his career taking very little damage. He can enjoy his health and the money that he's made. And
Yep.
So I want to be able to, I don't know how long I'm going to be in the fight game, but I want to be able to take as little damage as I can. And not to say that there aren't going to be moments where you've got to put the pressure on, but you've got to use strategic pressure, right?
Yep.
So this is the first time I've had the honor of sitting down with you, Dennis, in this type of platform, and really getting to pick your brain and learn from you. So I do apologize to any of the Caveman Corner fans that are going to hear some repeat material here. I'm just trying to educate myself, and maybe you guys already know some of these things. But I wanted to ask you a couple of questions that I like to ask everybody that is at this point in their combat sports journey, which is that very beginning. What is it that, like, if you could come up with a 5-year plan for me and then an overall goal, what would you say those are at this point? And I'm asking that, and I'm going to continue to ask you that as time goes on, because I want you to be able to go back to each interview we've done and see how this answer changes. There's a method to my madness with me asking this to every fighter all the time. So 5-year plan, overall goal, man, with combat sports, what is that?
Oh man, 5-year plan. I'm not sure. Bro, I'm 38. I'm gonna have a 5-year plan.
5-year plan is the overall plan at that point. Jesus. All right.
But honestly, I'm gonna keep going until I was because I always tell myself like oh, this is I don't know. I may have like 2 or 3 fights left in me or whatnot. I'm just gonna I'm gonna wait it out. I'm gonna allow my body to speak to speak to me and what my coaches think. And so long as my body can withstand the expectations of fight camp and the requirements of fight camp, if my coaches think that I'm still capable of being in there, then I hope to still be fighting in like in the next year or two. But as far as the fight game though, I the next 5 years, I outside of the cage, I still want. I think I'm gonna be training lifelong, man. At some point, I want to be coaching. Started my coaches gave me the opportunity to teach the youth at Empire, the kickboxing program that we have over there. And so if I'm not if in 5 years, I highly doubt that I'm still going to be fighting, just because I'm 38, man. But I want to be at a place where I've developed enough skill and knowledge from sparring, from being in the cage and fights and whatnot to be there for those that are coming up in the ranks. You know, to be able to give some of my the expertise that I've learned along the way to help them along the path. We've got some young guys that are have aspirations to go pro, and I want to be part of their success journey, you know. And so in the next 5 years, I want to be that guy that plays a major supportive role to the guys at my gym. To see them elevate in life, to see them elevate in the fight game. So to me, I'm not like I said, I'm 38. I'm not like trying to go pro or anything, but I do want to excel in the craft. And I think that's not just going to be a 5 year plan. It's going to be a lifelong journey for me. I just love the sport so much.
Now, Jeff, Ray, if there's one thing I've noticed about Dennis, and I want to get your guys' opinion about this real quick. Most fighters, when it comes to like their team, they have their goal list, and it's A, my goals, and then B, support the team. What I like about Dennis is that those two sit even. Or, support might even be more important to him, supporting the people around him than his own goals. That is something that I feel is unique to you. Would you guys agree with that? There's not many people that are putting their team above their own goals and what they want to do, and it seems like that could potentially be the case here, man. You know that you're on a fixed time schedule when it comes to competition, and you really just want to be that guy on your team that gives all the love and support you can.
I think this that happens quite a bit in gyms. You just don't see it because we don't have enough programs like this out there, like really exposing the fighters to it. There's a lot of selfishness in fighting, and you need to be selfish at times to be a good fighter. But I think every good team is full of people like Dennis. Like they're all like when it's that guy's turn up, everyone's there to help him out. And if you're not there for that, you don't really have a team. You just
Yeah.
got a collection of individuals, and you really have a fight gym. When you have a bunch of guys that come together, because everyone's got fights at different times, they're always there to be that body for your partner. That's what truly makes a team. And I think like that part of being a team is really lost in the sport today, but it's so necessary. And you see it in all the really successful gyms locally. You see that the guys are there all the time to be there for their training partners when they need it. And that's what it takes to be a really huge successful team.
And I like that you said you wanted to be a lifelong martial artist. Like that's always something that you want to see with these guys like yourself that intend to support people. We got Diami Santiago here in the comments. Carol Reichart, just give some shout outs quick. But 90-year-old Dennis out there on the mats at Naga, I can see it. We got like a seniors division for people that can't maintain an erection but can maintain guard. Like, is that possible to have happen here? Like, we'll have to get this figured out.
Off the rails. Off the rails.
Would it be a Sunday night tradition here for a K4 show with the three of us if it didn't go off the rail? We went last commentary. We were talking about our fucking socks. I mean, let's be real here. Like we were all over the place on the last pay-per-view. Jesus,
Socks are
Dennis,
important.
where do you draw? Yeah, dude, the socks were important. Like I said, I try to wear my special cat socks to all of my fights because I'm a big old puss, but that's besides the point. So, Dennis, man, other inspirations in mixed martial arts and Muay Thai. I know we've talked about this a little bit here and there, but where are those people that you really draw inspiration from?
Oh man, like guys that typically guys that pursue like a fight career come from the bottom, right? My favorite boxer, Manny Pacquiao, selling cigarettes on the streets in the Philippines, and because living in like war torn Mindanao, right? With all the fighting that happened and with the rebels and everything, but having to carry the weight of trying to get his family out of the gutter and doing so, and not just that, ends up becoming just a hero. Like he's like titled an official hero of the Philippines, and because he just he's an inspiration, right? To come from the bottom up, and guys like that really inspire me.
Kind of a Mount Rushmore face of the inspirational stories of the Philippines.
Oh, for sure.
Talk about that Mount Rushmore. Jeff, Ray, who are the faces you'd put on the K4 fighting Mount Rushmore? I know there's such an early stage still in the history of K4, still in its infancy, but like are there guys that you put up there on that Mount Rushmore so far?
John Doyle.
I think you got to
I
put
think
guys like Doyle and somebody like Isaiah Kett for some of his knockouts on there.
Keith Front. You got to put Keith Front's face on there. He made the thing.
yep. Nick Walker.
Hey,
Yeah, Jeff,
Face up
I
there.
say you'd have to be. I would put Jeff as one of the faces on there. And hold on, let me just do this so I'm not like. Now it's not kissing ass because he's not here. All right, like let me pull over. So, but like you are that mainstay out there in Western New York, man. We talk about it on the broadcast. The iconic Jeff Dens post fight interview that has become like a rite of passage for these fighters out there in Western New York. And I don't know if you realize just how important you and that post fight interview are to these fighters out there, man. But it really
That's-
is a
Hey,
thing that
Ben.
they hold with high honor.
Ben, you got to do the. He got to do the interviews, the write ups, the whole nine. He does.
That's what I'm saying. He should be on the Mount Rushmore for K4 if there's going to be one. And it's a job that he doesn't get the flowers for. He doesn't get the thank you for. Not that he's looking for a pat on the back, but if we're going to give somebody their flowers at K4, it definitely should be somebody like Jeff Dens.
I'll take that, and they can come punch me in the face at the gym after too. Like that's the best part. Like as an open invitation for all you guys to come out, and a lot of you guys do. I really believe in this community, and I want it to be great, and I want K4 to be great. I don't really want like you guys put on a show, and I want to give you a platform, and I want to be recognized for being good at being on that platform. But I don't want to take credit and be like, oh, K4 is about me. It's really not. I want to use K4 to tell a good story, and like let your stories out and reward you guys. Like I think the coolest thing that we ever did is raise money to give away at the fights, and we've been talking with Ben, and the three of us together might give away a belt too for like
Dude, I think
some
we
way.
need to.
Yeah,
I
but
think we need to do that.
we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do the belt. And this time around, I'd like to have the Caveman's Corner crew. We're just gonna have a write-in vote, and we're gonna give away $100 to whoever gets the most votes on Caveman's Corner. So you can vote as many times as you want. I don't know how I'm gonna count it if you guys vote 10,000 times though.
Now,
But
dude, what we need
we'll
to do
figure
is
it
have
out.
the crowd stay. We need to have the crowd stay until the end of the show. Loudest crowd pop for whoever, just list off the names from the card. Loudest crowd pop gets a hundo. You keep asses
That'd be
in
cool
seats
too.
until the end of the fights, too. You know what I mean? This is a nice little crowd keeper. I don't know. I think we
What
figured
happened
out
if the
Jewish Lightning
crowd's
may have struck.
biased?
The crowd is gonna be biased. It's gonna be whoever's left. They're for the last person
Well,
left.
it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same exact thing as it would be online, except for maybe you might get people like, for example, like the 765 guys could have, the 43 other people that live down there vote 100 times each to get them the money.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
way
they're
the
gonna get the
internet
whole
connection
trailer
works,
park.
they'll definitely not get it.
Oh, you
You're
never
gonna get the
know.
whole trailer
We'll have
park
to
to
see.
vote.
Get on your Obama phone now.
All right. Well, let's
Get
get
this.
back to Dennis. What the fight's really about. It's not about us. I got a question for you. How do you think this fight is going to play out? Do you think it's going to be like mostly long range? Do you think you're going to be like inside? Think you're going to be in a clinch, or you think you guys are going to be all over? And then, what do you think is going to be the outcome of the fight for you?
Oh man, I think it's going to be all over the place. Abbas is a bigger guy. He's going to try to. I think he's going to be trying to impose his strength on me. And like his last, like I said, his last two fights, he's very he's a very game opponent, and I'm hoping that that first fight adrenaline dump isn't going to be as intense in my second fight, and so I got my feet wet with being in the cage, and so I'm hoping that there's going to be a little bit more like focus, and because that totally caught me off guard, and I didn't expect it to be that way, like with how my body responded. And so I'm really hoping that this time around that the first fight jitters is that I'd settled in on that, and if so, I want to trade as well, and try to get my game plan in there. So, but every fighter doesn't go in there hoping to lose or thinking he's going to lose, and so I'm hoping to come out the fight with that W for sure.
So that sounds like you're saying decision, unanimous, 29-28. What do you think?
We'll see, man. We'll see. I'm not gonna. I'm not one of those guys that really looks out. I'm not gonna try to look for a knockout or anything. And so, I like to I like to play a little bit of strategy coupled with aggression. So, I wasn't really able to do that with in my first fight, but that's typically my style, and so I want to be able to implement that in my second fight, and I think I'm going to be able to. So it's not going to be easy. Definitely not taking a boss lightly, for sure. But I think I'm coming in ready. I was supposed to fight in on that card that Nick just fought on for, was it Supernatural? Yeah, Supernatural.
Yes, sir.
And I wasn't able to get matched up, and man, I was like in the best shape of my life. I really wanted to get on that card just to see what that level of that level of training that I did. My body was just so freaking on point, man. And I was like, even our conditioning coach was like, dude, I just want to see what this body can do. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to step in there, but I think everything happens for a reason. So technically, by the time I get to the fight, I'd have been in a 12-week fight camp. So I'm ready to go.
I have so many texts from Dennis on my phone. Put me in, coach. Put me in. I want to fight. Like for weeks leading up to the event. Like he is not lying when he said he wanted to fight, man. I have so many texts. Dennis is not a guy not trying to get a fight. He's definitely there.
Definitely a guy I'm interested in seeing progress in his combat sports career. Dennis, as we kind of run low on time here, man, I wanted to give the other guys some opportunity to ask any last minute questions here. Caveman Ray, you got anything else you want to ask our guest before we wrap it up with him?
I got a question. Who's going to win the third round?
Who's going to win the third round? Oh,
third
man.
round.
Not me.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna win that third round if it gets to the third round. And so I've got to go. One thing that I've found even in sparring, which is crazy, man. It was a couple weeks ago where I was doing good, and like throughout the night, and I went up against CJ. He's fought at K4 before, and for some reason, like my confidence level, like just like right before the round started, I was like ready to go, and then like a few seconds as the round started, like my confidence level just shrank, and I got pieced up that round, and there's something about like just having that sense of confidence. If you don't have that, it'll really change the trajectory of the fight. And so I think that I'm gonna take that third round.
I like that
Right.
confidence you carry.
Yep.
I
I'm
also
going to
like the
talk
look
about
on
that
a
in a
boss
bunch
in
of
the green
things,
room.
but
A boss the whole time you're saying like I'm gonna win the third round. He's like, all right, motherfucking bet. Like I can just see that look on his face. Like, yeah, that was like if he had subtitles on that little screen in the green room, it just would have said my ass. So this is gonna be an interesting fight, man. Before we wrap things up, let you go and get back to your life, man. I want to give you that opportunity that we like to give everybody here. That is to give shout outs, whether it's to friends, family members, coaches, sponsors, training partners, anybody that helps you in your day to day life or your combat sports journey, brother.
Oh yeah, for sure. And y'all already know I gotta give shout out to my Lord Jesus, man. I was just thinking the other day, man. I got done training, and I'm like, I'm 38, and why is it that at the tail end of like it just like it was later in my life where I really began to be fit and active, coming from a life of addiction to drugs and alcohol, and it's only because of that second chance that God gave me, man. And I'm going to take full advantage of that. And so I want to thank him, give him a shout out. I want to thank my wife, right? Because I've got 2 kids. She's holding it down at the fort, letting me do my training. Man, she's in this with me, and I appreciate her for the support. And my kid as well. She encourages me. Dude, the other night I was just hanging out with her in bed, and she was like, "Dad, what are you thinking about?" I'm just looking out the window. I'm not thinking anything. I'm like, what are you thinking about? She's like, I'm thinking about your next fight, Dad, and you winning. And she's 5, and I'm like, that's my little support buddy right there. And so shout out to my little daughter, the coaching staff at Empire, Coach Chris, Coach Wally, Coach Chris Herzog, Chris Muir, Rodney, man, Wally. They're phenomenal. I wouldn't be here without them, and my teammates for sure. That the support that we have, the camaraderie that we have, I appreciate that, and also the support that I get from my church family, right? The encouragement that I get from them. And so yeah, and there's going to be a lot of people from California that's going to be watching because we're streaming this, right?
yes,
I've
sir.
got
Sure.
a shout out to them, my San Diego friends, my Bay Area friends are going to be watching and supporting this. And so nothing but love for all those people that are supporting me around the nation. So yeah.
Gotta love all that support, man. Is there anybody else you want to give shout outs to? Any last minute thoughts you want to share with the fans before we let you go?
That's there's so much more, man. We're gonna be here all night, man. Just having that attitude. But that's the thing, right? Having that attitude of gratitude in life is so important, man. There's so many things, so many people to be thankful for. Dude, I'm gonna give a shout out to Abbas, right? And because he's stepping in the ring with me, and we're going in there, and we're gonna put on a show for people, and I gotta respect that. You know, any guy that steps in the ring. I just read this from earlier today. From I think it was on Chris Cyborg's page. He said, "I thank each opponent after every fight, win or lose. There's so much energy that goes into preparing for a fight. Very few people understand the sense of relief the moment it has ended. Each and every time we step into the cage, we share a small part of our soul with the crowd and leave it with them to take home that night." And so, yeah, man, shout out to Abbas. You know, we're putting on, we're training our best, and we're gonna put on a show for people. We're gonna showcase our skills, and may the best man win. You know, nothing but love for Abbas, and what we're gonna do out there in the cage come December 9th.
I know I'm certainly excited for this fight. So many other good ones booked for this card, but right now we're going to focus on your guys' fight. Folks, tickets on sale, k4fighting.com for that information. You make sure you credit your ticket sales and your pay-per-view purchase with the promo code appropriate to each fighter. The details on those promo codes will be released soon, so make sure you stay tuned to the K4 social medias for that. But until then, Dennis, man, thank you so much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for our guest this evening. He is Rochester's own Dennis Opolentissima. Thank you, brother. You have a great evening.
Sure, you two guys.
Man, such an incredible fight we've got to look forward to. But there's two parts to each equation, my friends. And I am so excited to talk to this guy. Another first-time interview for me. Man, 2 cherries in one night for me. It's like fucking college all over again, huh? Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the show oh my goodness, he's got me stuttering here. Ladies and gentlemen, the boss, Joe Beer. Maybe that pre-show dab wasn't a good idea, ladies and gentlemen. Nonetheless, there he is, ready to rock and roll. So first things first, man, let's get some reactions to some of the things you heard from Dennis.
Yeah, no, definitely. Dennis is super well spoken, honestly. Some of the things, Jesus Christ, man, half of the shit he was saying was so inspiring. I was like, wow.
How are you supposed to punch this guy?
Yeah, honestly, it makes it so hard. I'm just like, man, but no, he's a nice dude. I mean, I've talked to him before. I've known him since. I mean, he fought my teammate Jake, so I've known him like prior to the matchup and everything, and I kind of knew in my head that it was a possibility anyway. But yeah, no, it makes it great to be able to compete against somebody, you know, with that level of respect, because there can be a lot of gimmicks in the fight game and whatnot.
Definitely as real as they come. No bullshit, no farce, no nothing fake about that, man, or yourself either, man. You're definitely getting straight what you're looking at here when it comes to both of you. That's another reason this is going to be a fun fight. Caveman, I'm going to steal your question here. How do you see this fight going? Because it's such an interesting matchup.
Definitely. No, I agree. I would say I am a pretty tough matchup for Dennis. I feel like I'm still in pretty good shape. I honestly have been in it feels like continuous fight camp, because I've just been trying to get on like every K4 card this year. I've been pretty much booked on every K4 card this year. I just, didn't get to fight a couple times, but honestly, in my head, I feel like I can push my cardio enough. We do a lot of rounds in the gym with my guys. We spar like crazy. So I feel like I can be aggressive enough to look for a finish. But if that doesn't happen, I'm not upset. I know Dennis is smart, and if I've got anything to really look out for, I would have to say it was probably going to be like the IQ of him and the gym that he comes out of, because those Empire guys are really well coached. So as much as I want to let my ego take over and try to look for, a kill shot, I have to, be patient and set that up. But hopefully I'm looking to get a finish, honestly. But either way, if that doesn't happen, I'm looking to close out the third round strong.
So
hey, boss,
you
are we
talk
going to
about
see a taekwondo kick?
Oh, don't worry, Ray. I'm gonna have a bunch of kicks for you. Don't no, that's the plan for sure. I mean, like this is the first time I'm gonna be fighting somebody shorter than me, which is something I feel like I should take advantage of, at least try to, and not let my ego put me into like a firefight that would more benefit his range. So yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna use my kicks. I'm gonna try to stay long, be rangy, and use that to set up some other stuff, set up my boxing later down.
So you talked about the fight IQ that comes out of his gym and how intelligent they are over there, but you have a very
Mhm.
strong facility yourself. You guys very
Thank
intelligent
you.
coaching over there. I mean, Jeff, you would be better spoken as far as what the establishment is over there and the coaches and their resumes than I would be. But it really showed in your last fight, man, to go from a loss to a win and show. It really didn't know. It almost didn't look like the same fighter across those two fights. The improvements in the clinch, especially, had us blown away on the commentary. Who do you credit that to? Because you really just looked, like I said, like a different fighter this time out.
Yeah, no, 100%. I gotta credit that to my coaches, obviously. Felipe Silva, he's an absolute demon, in the clinch, man. So like he has us drilling that kind of stuff all the time. Of course, I mean it's Muay Thai, and that's the biggest thing that separates us from just kickboxing. So he's definitely been the biggest influence, but also just my training partners. Everybody that I got that trains with me. Todd Banks, Anthony Mixon. I got plenty of guys down in Western New York that help me. What I'm saying, work my game and really improve every day. You know what I'm saying? I credit my consistency in the gym and being able to train with them every day. We really help each other, improve through healthy competition.
I
And if
gotta
you're
say,
just joining us, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
yeah, I gotta say, you guys have been doing an awesome job. You like 2 or 3 K4s ago, like it was a rough night for WNY. Every
Hmm.
fight since, you guys have all been getting better. Like last card, everyone on the card looked phenomenal. Last night, like, we were at Caster Cones.
Yeah,
Obviously, you guys,
yeah, for
my guy,
sure.
that's awesome. But like, you guys all look really good. You know what I mean? Like, dude,
Yeah.
like Todd Banks got the knockout. Like, everyone's like walking through people. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are really turning the corner there, man. Like, you guys working together is really, you guys are all lighting fires under each other, and that's like the perfect kind of training environment, man. I gotta say, I'm super impressed by what I see coming out of there. And like
No,
Ben said, I
exactly.
speak to coaching, but not only is it the coaching, is you guys like training together and becoming a team, just like we talked about earlier with Dennis, all stepping up when it's your guys' turn to fight and being there for each other. I love to see that.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually want to give a quick shout out to my guys that fought on the Cash Cones card last night. It was crazy. But yeah, we had Rico, Aiden, and Todd, and we got away with the wins last night. So I was really proud. And like that's another thing. Like I love competing, but then also seeing my guys compete, like it inspires me a little bit. Like I was ready to, what I'm saying, like shadow box and fight somebody like right there, as soon as they were done. But it makes me want to get in the gym, train more, and get better.
And yeah,
Awesome
I've
job.
definitely noticed that with my short time here with K4 fighting. I believe just about a year now that I've been coming out to Buffalo and checking out these fights and having the honor of working with you guys. And WNY MMA is certainly starting to come into its own. And like you said, man, you can call a lot of that to the coaches, but really, yes, the chef is in the kitchen putting those spices into the dish they're making, man. But it's those spices themselves that hit your flavor palette and really make you experience that meal. So it does not just go to the chef in the kitchen, but what he puts into that pan. So like you said, give the coaches the credit, but it's definitely the fighters and being easily coachable that makes these results happen. You look at somebody like Dennis Opolentissima, somebody with that high fight IQ. You look at yourself and the facility you come out of. Is this just going to be like a technical back and forth, what people might consider to be a slow paced fight, but in reality is a very technical chess match?
Exactly. Yeah, they did describe this one as a battle of technicians, and I'm honored by that because especially at moments in my last couple fights, I've been known to be pretty like forward and very aggressive, and it depends. There's good moments for that, but I think I do have to be smart in this one. I think he's gonna come out intelligent and very well coached, very disciplined. So they're gonna have a set game plan for sure, and I have to make sure that I stick to mine so that I don't, veer off too much. I mean, then again, in my last fight, I had a game plan and I had to scrap that shit. We had to do something else, and you have to make adjustments on the fly if it calls for that, for sure. Um, but yeah, definitely. I think it's gonna cancel out at some point, and if it gets to be like a third round battle, I think then it'll be a dogfight. Um, but for sure, like it's gonna be a show. I'm telling you, this is gonna be like some real good Muay Thai. It's not gonna be anything too crazy looking. It's gonna be really like some real clean, fighting for sure.
I'm so excited for this.
You should
Do
be.
you mind if I ask you a question about the Jake fight?
No, we're in an
Yeah.
interview. No questions.
Shut up.
No, but
If you don't want to answer this because it's gonna give away some of your strategy for the fight, like don't feel like you need to answer this question, right? Like the goal is always to have you guys put on like best cleanest fight that you can. It looked like in the whole first round, Jake was tagging you with that straight right hand. I don't want to go into why you're hitting you with that. Like I think I saw a reason for it, and I think your coaches saw a reason for it. In the second round, you got away from getting hit with that right hand. You really started making a pay when you're throwing that right hand. And then in the third, it started hitting you again. What happened from the second to the third round that it started hitting you again? The second round, you like made so many good adjustments. You were hitting him clean off of his straight right. Like, what
Yeah,
happened there? I just
so
wanted to know.
I can definitely I'll go both sides. When I did taekwondo and stuff, the stance that we kind of would come out of was like right foot in front. So essentially, when it comes to kickboxing, I can kind of like adopt like a southpaw kind of thing. And the main thing was like I just felt like whatever it was in the first round that I was doing just wasn't working. I felt like I was maybe just trying to pace myself and start out like a slow feeling out process. And he was coming out like super duper aggressive. And like whatever I was doing, it just he literally hit me with the right hand like 3 times. So when I came out in the second, I kind of came out like switching sides and stuff like that and really just moving. I had to watch it back to see for myself, but it was kind of a natural response. I just was like, all right, I got to do something. And just being able to slip in and out of punches, he really wasn't able to find that right hand as much. And I was able to land some angly stuff. But honest to God, it's kind of laboring sometimes moving around like that. So like once, the gas tank is a little bit emptier, it's hard to keep up that movement. And once you're not moving around, it's like, start getting hit again. So the main thing was just keeping my cardio in a place where I'm not, too tired to, be able to keep my hands up and respond to punches.
That's the coolest, most honest answer I've ever heard, dude. I love it. I love that to death, man. You're like,
Hey man, shit.
you're a real G, dude.
I
I'm
try.
gonna ask you the same question I had for Dennis about that 5-year plan overall goal for combat sports. I know you kind of were listening in through the green room when we were interviewing Dennis. So for those of the people that weren't listening for that portion, what is it that you have for a 5-year plan here in combat sports, man? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And then overall, what is your goal?
Yeah, that's a hell of a question, honestly. I was thinking about that
That's
when
what
you
I do,
asked it to
man.
Dennis,
Good
and I was
questions
like,
and fat
man,
ass joints.
hey, we'll talk more about that after the
Yes,
podcast.
sir.
But like it's just I can't say it. So like, but I'll get more into it. Like within, I got back into Muay Thai, kickboxing. Maybe I've been training in Western New York since April of last year. So I want to say like I've improved quicker than I thought I would, at least in this amount of time, as far as like what I wanted to do and things like that. Fighting amateur was always going to be on my mind. I didn't know about fighting pro, but I've been hearing more from other people that that could be a possibility for me, and that I could have the talent for it. And that's the thing that just scares me a little bit about something like that is like, it takes way, way more than just some talent, to make it pro. And so I do flirt with the idea of it. I think my problem with that
Slut.
is I started out with Muay Thai now, and I do want to transition to MMA at some point in time, but I just don't know at what point in time. And the more that I'm taking Muay Thai fights, the more that I'm falling in love with that as a sport. And I'm also kind of just seeing where that takes me, as opposed to fighting and mixing the martial arts and all that other stuff. But in 5 years, no, I definitely could see myself putting together at least like a decent amateur career, and then flirting with the idea of going pro for sure.
See, I think I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 24.
Yeah, so you go and you put in 5 years as an amateur. You 29, you can get easily what, Jeff? Fucking another 10 fights in 5 years, easily.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah.
no problem. Probably like 20.
Yeah, especially if they're Muay
At
Thai,
this rate,
like especially. So I would say let's cut it down. Let's say 3 years from now, you're 27 years old. You got another 10 fights in this time. I think realistically, depending on your skill and improvement, if you continue at the rate you're on, and Jeff, Ray, stop me if I start to sound like I'm being ridiculous here or not on track. But I think with the development you've shown already over your 2 fights, if you continue the way that you have, if you put in another 10 fights over 3 years, there's no reason you couldn't be pro by the time you're 27, and then really have that pro career on lock and ready to go and be developed before you even hit your fucking prime. These are things that can happen. Look at
Sound real good,
guys like
man.
like Brett Pastor, excuse me. He's over in one championship right now because he went pro, focused on his Muay Thai for a little bit, did some MMA over there, and now he fights for one. Like, these are totally things that you can do with that mindset. I look at Nick Walker's last time out. That was a guy that proved to us that he was born and bred for this. There's going to be some opportunities that are going to knock on your door in these next 3 years, my friend, and that's going to show you whether or not you are bred for this. And I think you were cut from that cloth from those 2 fights I've seen. I think this is something you can do and make a good, successful career out of. Gentlemen, have I said anything asinine here?
I think you're right. I think that level of improvement that you're showing is going to be hard to keep up with because, dude, there's been a huge jump from fight to fight. Like, if you jump like that much every fight that you have, dude, you would be a pro in like a year.
Yep.
But honestly, I think 3 years is probably a realistic goal. And the way that you fought from the first round to the second round, you made adjustments. Like that showed a lot to me. And then like I knew that you got tired in the third round. I just kind of wanted to hear what you had to say about it. And the way that you responded and the honesty you have, that's the honesty you need with yourself to be a good pro too. Because like as a pro, you have to know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and you have to let that ego be aside and know like, okay, I gotta do this to win because he's faster than me, or like I gotta do this to win because he hits harder than me. I can't get hit. I can't let my ego take over. I need to do the right things. And man, the way you talk, that's what you sound like, dude. And I like to hear that.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And again, I really do got to credit it to like, my teammates because they really do push me, to be better. Seeing them be better, I mean, obviously we're competing with each other and, we're trying to get better every fight, but also, just that healthy competition really inspires me every time. I just had watching those 3 guys fight last night. It literally made me go to the gym today. I couldn't even wait. I just was like, man, I got to be working. I got to be working. So yeah, I gotta give credit to the gym as a whole because I think within I think within 3 years, like I'm not the only person that's gonna be going pro or thinking about it for sure. Like we got some killers coming out, so you know be ready for sure.
Heck yeah. I talked about Todd. I talked to Todd in the podcast yesterday. I don't know if you heard it or not. If you didn't hear it, Todd, check it out. I talked about the whole Tyler Rico thing. I don't want to get into it now because we're doing a podcast about your fight. But I gave Rico mad respect, and I might have misrepresented what Tyler said, I think. So I want you guys to go back and listen to that one. If you haven't heard it, Todd, I did it yesterday. It's in the live, and I'll repost it again later. But check it out.
For sure. No, I definitely will.
So many fun fights on this card. I cannot wait for this. It's so exciting. Gentlemen, did you have any other questions for our guest here before we wrap things up? I think I've got what I wanted asked out there. And I really got to say, you guys have such a valuable mind in Felipe Silva out there. And it's good to see that you guys take advantage of that. Like, good for you guys for really using that. And it's shown in your last fight. And I'm looking forward to seeing the improvements you make moving forward, man. It's an honor to call your combat sports career so far.
Thank you.
I,
Thank you.
I
All
got a
love. You
question.
guys are the best.
Who's going to win the third round?
Oh, Jesus, here you go again.
If it gets there, I'm gonna take it. But it won't be easy. But if it gets there, I'm taking that one for sure.
And then, how do you predict? What's your predicted outcome of the fight?
I see my hand raised any way it goes. But like you said, it's gonna be a battle of technicians. So it's gonna be me like trying to solve like a Rubik's cube. You know what I'm saying? That's moving around and trying to punch me in the face. So it's not gonna be simple. Like this is not like gonna be an easy task. But I feel like if I put my mind to it, I can solve this puzzle.
Looks like
All right.
your past opponent thinks you're winning second and third too. That's cool to see, man. I love it when people like don't hate on for someone that you fought. Like I love that to death. And like Rico asked if there's any bad blood. I was like, why is there bad blood, dude? Like we go out and we fight, dude. I love it. Like that's what we do. Without each other, there's no there's no opponent. Like we can hate each other leading up to it in a fight. Like sometimes you need that to be able to fight. Sometimes you just be, hey, friendly, go out and punch each other in the face. Like I was always able to be friendly. I don't really care. Like it's different when you go in there, dude. That's the time to shine. And then like when
Yeah,
it's over, like you should be friends and go train. Like that's how you get better. That's how
yeah,
it works
for
out,
sure, 100%. No, I agree with that, Caveman.
Am I having a stroke, or is that say like? Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, I
We
think he
haven't.
meant first, second, and third.
I was gonna say we having 2 third rounds here. Like I know I didn't smoke that much weed before this fucking show. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We're taking 5 points from Gryffindor.
Shout out Jake
Remove
Friedley
that.
though.
Oh Christ. Such an exciting fight though before us, man. I'll give you that same opportunity I love to give to everybody. That's for shout outs, friends, family members, coaches, sponsors, training partners, anybody that helps you in your day-to-day life, your combat sports journey.
Yep, for sure, man. Shit, shout out my mom dealing with me, cooking me good food and shit to eat during weight cuts. Shout out to my gym as a whole, WNY. Shout out to all my training partners and definitely my coaches, Felipe Silva, putting in the time and the effort, you know what I'm saying, with us to watch us get better and develop our careers. Shout out to Keith, K4, the whole promotion. I love the opportunity to be able to come on here and express myself through my craft. I love competing. So to be able to come, I would have thought Keith was tired of booking me for fights by now. But he gives me a shot every time. Listen, and as long as they keep letting me come on here, I'm going to keep performing. So shout out to Keith and shout out to Dennis too. Yeah, I got to say shout out to all the opponents that I've had in the past too. Friedley, Hughes too. They push me to be better. They give me, a hell of a task to really try to, to solve. And just that motivation it keeps me in the gym. So yeah. And shout out to you guys too. Yeah. Y'all are some great commentators, man. Shit.
We'll make it sound good.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you. It's fighters like you that make our job easy.
No, it's not fighters like you that make our job easy. You and Dennis have the 2 hardest names to say.
Yeah,
doesn't make our job easy at all. Your fighting does, but it makes it tough.
Listen, you guys do your best, but if you want to call us Dennis and a boss, it's okay. It's all right.
When people just call you boss, can we change your fighter nickname to just Rootin', like the boss Rootin'?
Yo, honestly, and that's the thing, like that's been a lifelong nickname for me just because like people, it's just easier for people and I love boss Rootin', so shit, I'd be honored.
I think you should do that. Just Rootin'. Boss Rootin' Abba Joe Beer. So another question, if I may, before we go. Your first shout out was for your mother.
Yes.
Question in regards to her: has she ever been referred to as Mama Joe Beer? And if not, can we start referring to her as that?
That's crazy that you say that because that's not even really her last name technically, but people have called her that exact word. That's crazy that you even said that. That was insane. Like I've had people in my old life Taekwondo friends, people make up that name. That's wild that you just said that.
Like Mama Boss.
Yeah, shit. I like both of those.
It's Mama Boss, Mama Joe Beer. Like that's her full name.
Yeah.
And if if you use that, she knows she's in trouble type of deal. All right, we've got it figured out. Well, definitely shout out to her, man. All
Yes,
mothers
sir.
deserve the shout out and the love, all the love in the world. So thank you,
100%.
man. You got that
100%.
official prediction in for us? What is it? Give it to us one more time.
The Mystic Boss prediction. Man, I really do see me getting it done in the second round, truly. And I say that because, as technicians, I don't think it's going to be easy as just walking in there and trying to KO a guy, especially not someone like him that actually knows how to move. But I really do feel like I can track him down. Like I am a guy that moves around a lot, but I've really been working on my forward pressure. Shout out to Felipe Silva. But so I really do see myself finding him in that second round and chasing a finish or at least getting a knockdown or two. But if it goes to the third, then I see myself getting the second and third too.
Seems like this is going to be a fight that is going to depend on who makes that first mistake. Whoever makes that first mistake in each round is going to be the one that misses out, I guess. Yeah, it seems like that's going to be the case. Todd Banks thought he missed out on his guy, Boss. No, he's right here, my friend. Don't worry. You didn't miss out on a damn thing. If you guys are just joining us here, sorry, we're wrapping things up. I'm Ben Field alongside Ray Arias, Jeff Dens, the commentary team for K4 Fighting. You guys can catch this on the Caveman's Corner YouTube page, preferably. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're here on the K4 page as well. All the calls, the Caveman's Corner Facebook, on all the socials here for you guys. So don't forget, you can watch the replay. Boss man, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate
Thank
everything.
you,
Guys,
guys.
as I said earlier with Dennis, you can go to k4fighting.com and get your tickets there and all the ticket and pay-per-view information there. And make sure when you purchase that, you scroll down to the bottom, you do promo code, and you can put in a specific one for Mr. Abajo Beer. Those promo codes and information on that and the pay-per-view shortly to come. So stay tuned to the K4 social medias for that. Until then, though, Abbas, I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for taking this time out of your busy life, man. We appreciate you endlessly. Ladies and gentlemen, our final
Anytime
guest
for you
this
guys.
evening. Thank you, brother. He is Abbas Abajobir. Some incredible guests we have this evening, my friends. How is that?
That's
It's gonna
good.
be a crazy fight.
Yeah, man. And we look back at this card, and we got Blake Coran, Tristan Carr for a title on top of that at 170 pounds. And
That's a
you want
crazy
to talk,
fight, man. Both those guys are so good.
bro, you want to talk about a fight that makes my nipples hard? The Brett Valone, Stephen Bell rebooked here. Ooh, fucking ready to go. Let's fucking go, man. This is going to be such a great fight if it actually comes to fruition this time. Brett Valone, Stephen Bell. That is a stand on a napkin in the center of the cage and first one to fucking shoots a bitch type of fight, right?
Yeah,
That
so
might
it's
be
gonna
fight of
be
the
a
night. I hate to say this about the guys that we just had on, but this is probably not going to be a fight of the night. This could be knockout of the night, maybe, but this is going to be a very technical battle. This is like a fight that I myself would like
I
super
think it's
enjoy. Like,
a front runner for like so when I do my awards for events, I do a fight of the night, knockout, submission, and then somebody gets a performance of the night. If there's like an outstanding, like they look too damn good to not give them some sort of recognition. I think if you guys instated one of those for K4 and Caveman's Corners Awards, I think that this could be a shoe-in for the Performance of the Night Awards.
I would agree with
Uh,
that. Like these guys, this is going to be a good fight to watch. This is going to be like people that enjoy the technical side of the sport, and not so much the guys that like to watch someone bleed and die because they might bleed and die, but it's going to be from like a one
I
set
think there's
shot or a
room for
set
both.
combination. It's not going to be like a back and forth.
damn. Boss is young too. He's 24, and then Dennis is 38.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's insane 14-year age difference, probably at least that in height for inches. Like this is gonna be interesting, man. Like you're gonna need like a midget in a trench coat with fucking Dennis on his shoulders to be able to match that height of a Boss Joe Beer. But like still I think Dennis will be able to find the chin a couple of times and a boss though. He's a guy that can take a punch. I don't know, man. This is gonna be such an interesting fight. I think they put on such an interesting back and forth for us that we come down to a split decision. I rarely predict those, but I think it's technical for the first excuse me, this is a 6-minute fight. I think this is technical for the first 2.5 minutes. After that, we get a dog fight.
Man,
That's my prediction.
I can't wait to see how a boss kicks him. I want to really see the Taekwondo style kicking. He's so much shorter
Right.
than him where he can reach the head easily without much effort. I think, man, I just want to see how that plays out. And I want to see if it leaves him open or if he starts landing on Dennis. And that's, to me, that's the style matchup. How does the kicking play out from a boss, from Mr. Rutan? So is Mr.
I,
Rutan going to be able to have some highlight real kicks to the head like he
I
does?
think if
Spinning kick.
he stays at range, he'll have a rootin' tootin' time.
Rutan time.
I think Dennis gotta. I think Dennis gotta really throw some leg kicks to slow down Boss.
Great point, man. Take that wheel out from underneath him, and then you can keep him right in your range. And it's going to be such an incredible fight,
Yeah,
man.
it
We
is,
have
man.
4 fights booked already for this card. I see here on Tapology, Jesse Roseplock versus Jarrell, and this is Abdelaziz. All right, guys, we're already on the pronunciation for that one, so don't worry.
That's an
I'll be
interesting fight too. Jesse's all over the place. He trains all over. I don't know much about the other gentleman, and we'll do some due diligence research. I just saw it drop today, so I didn't see. Like I didn't really prepare for the podcast besides for these two guys. Boom.
Well,
Jesse
I
got
know we'll
shins
have.
of steel. That's all I got to say about that.
Was he
Yeah.
related to you then, there, Leg Kick King?
Oh no, but he's good though.
Perfect. Well, I know I've
He's
already
good.
got my my open for the pay-per-view written, ready to go for December 9th, gentlemen. We've got some incredible fights. I'm hoping we get another 15.
I think 13 is ideal. Start with 15, end with 13.
Yeah.
I like 13. 13 is my lucky number for fights.
See, I like with K4, there's no intermission. Because for me, intermission's like, well, do I stay here at the desk and like chat with like the judges and see what they thought of certain things and talk and get some information for the broadcast, or do I just
I
like
kind
go
of
smoke
hope.
weed in the
I
parking
kind of
lot?
hope for an intermission. I gotta pee sometimes, you know.
Dude, like, all right, so you know what? While I've got you here, I didn't realize a man your caliber couldn't take a piss, caveman. Jesus Christ. You guys dogged me for taking a piss, what, like 3 times during the last event?
How can you not hold your pee, dog? Like you're a commentator. It's your job to not pee.
It's an amateur fighting event. Like I didn't realize you guys couldn't go like this for fucking the ring announcer while I went and took a leak.
I didn't realize you left. I was talking, man. I turned around and you weren't there. And I was like,
Dude,
oh
that's
shit.
what they call Jewish smoke ball. I was just like, all right, gotta piss.
That's what happened. And he was
Yeah,
gone.
like, just fucking poof. Well, I show up with 35 Poland Spring water bottles. Do you expect I'm just gonna sit there and stare at them, fucking stroke them like I'm Charles Manson?
I drink like 10 rock stars, dude. Like
Well, no wonder you don't piss during an event. Your kidneys are probably dialing 911 as we fucking speak. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Kidneys just have an out of order sign with like you can tell some kids have drawn on because it's been there for a while. Somebody put their cigarette out on it. Like
oh, snap.
your body is the equivalent of a 1988 Ford Bronco. Like it's been through some shit. It's got a couple 100,000 miles on it, some stains,
No
couple
sling
dents
today.
that it's not getting. But you know what? That fucking thing fires up and purrs like a kitten, and you bet your ass it's gonna run for a couple more years.
Oh yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Well, gentlemen, this has been a great show. I'm looking forward to doing that next week. We've got a great lineup of guests to choose from, so we'll have to make sure we make this happen again. Gentlemen, when is the next Caveman's Corner? Let's get some love for that show on here. When do we got another Caveman's Corner coming?
Hopefully we're gonna have a show Monday with Pat Mix, but we're in the works with it right now. I've been talking with Pat. He messaged me, and hopefully he wants to jump on the show sometime tomorrow. But we'll see how it goes out. Pat's a busy dude. Sometimes says he wants to jump on and then doesn't show up. So we'll see.
All right,
Not
guys.
part of the $1 million mix.
Yeah, stay tuned to the Caveman's Corner socials for that announcement. Potential Bellator World Champion here on Caveman's Corners. Make sure you guys head on over to youtube.com/Caveman's Corner. Like and subscribe. It is absolutely free, costs you nothing, helps us out a bunch. You can catch this episode and other clips, Caveman Corner skits, not only on cavemanscorner.com, but on the Caveman's Corner YouTube as well. You can also head on over to the socials of K4 Fighting, all the calls, and Caveman's Corner. Give us a like there as well. What was that, buddy?
There's a great video of me kicking Ray in the penis over and over again on YouTube right now too. So check that out for sure.
There we go, man. You gotta love that. So, guys, there's your Caveman's Corner news. Potential Bellator Grand Prix winner, Bellator World Champion at 135 pounds on the show potentially tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Not that too many people out here in Western New York care about what's going on out in Vermont, but if you do, we have a Donnybrook Tuesday event heading on Tuesday evening. 8 o'clock, we have the small glove Muay Thai world champ of Donnybrook, Keegan Allen Hornstra, coming on to talk about his fight against John Pena. That is January 13th, Barrie, Vermont. Hey, if you guys feel like making it out, tickets on me. If you guys feel like driving out to old Barrie, Vermont, there's another Gamma sanctioned event.
Are you talking to me and Ray, or are you talking to all the fans?
Talking to you and Ray.
Okay.
Tickets on me if you guys feel like coming out for that event. making the trip. So we got that. We got Mr. Mike Souza on as well to start off the show for Tuesday. So you guys can head over check that out. But yeah, if you guys are interested in watching some small glove tie, I'll get you tickets. We'll talk off air about that though.
All right, sounds great.
But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're back here next Sunday for your favorite Sunday night tradition. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, folks, don't forget tickets available, k4fighting.com. We'll see you next week.